My name is Vincent Smeding. I am a student at Erasmus University doing educational science, and I'm also contributing to ErasmusX and game-based learning as an operational manager for the game-based learning community. I feel like we are really trying to create spaces for students to interact with in ways we haven't done before. We're creating digital spaces that really feel like home, that create a sense of belonging for students. We have done a lot of game-based learning projects, and those projects mainly started in Corona when students weren't able to interact with each other, and that's when we started growing. We thought, how can we make sure that the digital spaces that students interact in can actually be fruitful and for education, and that we can actually have those same interactions and foster that sense of belonging. So what we found was that actually a lot of educators, they wanted to make their courses more interactive. They wanted to make their courses more fun. But the thing about interactivity is it used to be just in the classroom, but as technology has advanced and the spaces where students can interact have grown, we need to make sure that those spaces foster the interaction that we desire for students to actually learn. Through the game-based learning community, we're trying to inspire a community of educators that are trying to take those digital spaces and really make them facilitate their interaction that we so desire for students. We have people from all over the university that come to us and they learn stuff there that they can use in their own courses so that it really becomes something that is larger than the community itself. And as an operational manager of that community, I feel like we have an ability to connect those educators, inspire them, and make them improve education as a whole so that the interaction in those new spaces can really be fruitful. Yeah, and that's how we try to influence education at Erasmus University.
Great, I'm back. So, to the second project. This is the game-based learning project. So, what we're aiming to do in this project is to make education interactive, immersive, motivating, and enjoyable. How would it be for all students to enjoy the process of learning and to make it more enjoyable for themselves? Not only students, but also teachers, of course. Now, why are we doing this? It's for the educators that struggle with finding new alternatives for providing education, right? And why are we doing this? We do have a bit of a portfolio at ErasmusX with initiatives on game-based learning. And I'm going to touch upon that a bit further. But it's really on starting this conversation, right? Because we see that there's a lot of enthusiasts that have initiatives on game-based learning, and we want to bring these ideas together, and that we kind of like act as a community around these initiatives as to know each other and interact with one another. Now, creating a space where, so indeed, we are aiming to create this space where educators come together. We come together once per quarter, and we exchange knowledge. We showcase what has been done and what can be done as well. But we also have some workshops as for learning by doing. Further, to make a clearer understanding of how do we try to make this approach strategic, we invite different enthusiasts as to showcase their projects during the sessions. By showcasing the project, they also contribute to a knowledge bank that we want to develop further and to really make it accessible for other educators to enter and learn on a case study basis. But further than that is also on triggering collaborations between different educators within the university. Now, in the community so far, after 5 sessions, we have been able to initiate 4 different projects on game-based learning. And we're open for educators in the Erasmus University, but also outside of the Erasmus University. So consider this an invitation for everyone sitting right now here. Now, for the portfolio that I was going to refer to, one of the most emblematic projects that we have done in ErasmusX happened during the pandemic. And during the pandemic, we were able to create a digital twin of the campus in Minecraft and to open up servers for students that couldn't enjoy an onboarding experience because of the pandemic, would still be able to get to know the campus physically, digitally, but to an extent also have a social experience, because that was a tough time for students, and social capital was also an important resource that was not being built. Based on this project, we also got an award from the Klaus Foundation on the best campus development, and we got that award in 2021, and it was the best campus considering digital campus. We also got to collaborate with Erasmus School of Law on a course, Legal Tech, which allowed the students to learn about intellectual property. And as an answer also for the pandemic, we created different escape rooms, turning multiple choice-based questions into different puzzles that would lead to option A, B, or C, or also inciting more critical thinking. And we use this tool where you can approach other people with their avatars and you engage on an interactive Zoom or Teams meeting. So they were able to sort of like explore intellectual property, and we are now at the third year, consecutive year already, with this initiative with the students of law. Now, there's another project that is now in development and initiated also with RSM, thanks to Anna and Ezra, and it has two different versions. So in this particular project, which we are actually going to be able to test during the workshop later, because the future is interactive, and in that case, the students are put in a simulation of a very complex problem within their discipline, facing 3 different stakeholders, and they need to make a decision as what kind of negotiation are they going to do, but they only have one option, and they need to reflect not only on the benefits that they covered, but also on the sacrifices that they made. So what's next? We are in conversations with the evaluating societal impact department on one of the games that they have, the theory of change. We need to materialize a bit further, considering the roadmap and capacity. But that's something that is still there for definition. The legal tech module, the different escape rooms, we also need to ensure that it is reshaped and to like the evolution of students, of course, because we're not pushing that platform necessarily, but also sort of like adapting to the changes. Complex problem-solving game, there's 2 versions of it, one for onboarding as sort of like the wow factor and really sort of like collaborate and reflect with one another, because decision-making also happens socially in this game, and the other one on more content-heavy basis on negotiation skills. And for the game-based learning community, as I already said, you're all invited to join. We meet once every quarter, and we usually showcase some enthusiasts or experts, and we keep the ball running as for making this something that is less of a taboo within the university. So that's why I believe very deeply also for my profile, my discipline, that the future of education is interactive.